Welcome back to Adobe Live here on Behance. My name is Alexis Bustos. I'll be hosting the wonderful and talented Joanne Lee for her second day with us. Today we're going to be going over the power of plugins, and we're going to be applying it to a really amazing healthcare app that Joanne went over yesterday. Before we do, I just want to say hi to everyone in the chat. I don't think we've gotten to say hi enough to you guys. Voodoo Val, hey. Justin, Dee, Jack, how are you doing? Where's everyone coming from? We'd love to know. We're in San Francisco. Beautiful, sunny San Francisco.
Yeah, it's been hot.
It's been hot. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through the schedule for today because we have lots happened. We had Voodoo Val, I believe, doing the Creative Challenge this morning, followed by Bardo again going live. They're awesome. Sam Anderson giving us another great Creative Challenge. So everyone go and do that. And then we have Joanne right now. And what's cool about today is we're going to be doing portfolio reviews. So I'm stoked. I haven't gotten to do a portfolio review. Joanne is a great resource. I can't tell you how many portfolios Joanne has looked over and given great advice and has worked on her own. So everybody submit for portfolio reviews today. And then in about 30 minutes, we're gonna have Chat to Win. Another awesome opportunity to get 100 sticker wheel stickers. Yes. And all you have to do is chat and win. I can't think of a better deal than that. That's amazing. So everyone just keep chatting, keep talking, 100 sticker mule stickers, maybe for your own portfolio.
Yeah. Yeah, or like a picture of your face just on 100 stickers.
Yes,
Yeah.
with your website underneath.
Yeah, just all over the city.
See, that's great. I love that idea. So yeah, let's get started with Joanne Lee again.
Yeah, so in case this is the first time you guys are tuning in, my name is Joanne, and I'm a UX designer, art director, visual designer, all the things, anything creative. I'm your girl, and so that's just a little bit of the work that I've done, and going forward into who am I, this is just a list of things that I like doing along with design work. I like talking to my dog and understanding dogs and looking at art, to get inspired, reading the air, adjusting to change. That's a really big one that I'm still teaching myself how to like and be good at. So this is just a way for me to, get to know you guys and also just share a bit more about myself. So if you guys have things that you're good at, please just put it in the chat. I'd love to learn more and pick up those skills as well, because I know everybody has their own amazing skills that they have.
Love it.
And this is some of the work that I've done. I just do a lot of body of work where it's about printmaking, or it's about sculpting, or designing my own tattoo. There's a lot of different things that come my way, and whenever I do have that opportunity, I'm like, yeah, I want to try learning how to do that. And so recently I've done a marketing campaign for a voice zoo skill for the San Diego Zoo.
That's so fun.
And
that must have been really fun.
It was
Did you
fun.
get to talk to kids?
I got to talk to kids about who their favorite animals were, and also just talk to the zoo about what their animals were like personality-wise.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
So these rhinos are actually named Amani and Victoria, and they were both pregnant at the time that I spoken to their zookeepers, and they were expecting to have a child, which I think now Victoria actually has a daughter now. So a little white rhino is running around in San Diego Zoo.
The amazing projects you get to do at design agencies.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
It's such a diverse body of work, and
Definitely.
you were an illustrator prior to getting into
that's
design.
kind of how I got into design. I learned how to illustrate. I was always just looking at what people were doing on Behance and Etsy and all those different platforms, and being like, I feel like I can make that, and just copying what they were doing, and then also mixing in some of what I was inspired by myself. And so that's really just how I got here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. See, there's no right path into getting into design, and especially into UX specifically.
Definitely.
Everyone has different origin stories. Chat, please let us know how you guys got started. We'd love to know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later.
Yeah.
We can give a little bit more of how Joanne got to where she is a little bit later.
Exactly. And Alexis, I know you work at an agency right now.
I do.
So what type of projects do you work on?
They are not as fun as meeting rhinos. I would love to. Mine are a little bit more just, I can't really talk about them publicly,
Hush,
but
hush.
exactly. They're a lot tamer. Let's just put it that way.
For now.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. Someday,
Yeah.
hopefully I'll get that rhino job.
Yeah, yeah. But Alexis does amazing work. She's done a lot of like
it's not my stream.
immersive experience design projects. She's
get into
really,
that later.
Yeah. Oh, she's really into like going up there, talking to people face to face, and just such a people person. So I think that's how she got into design. You know, right?
Let's talk about that. We'll talk about that later. Oh, awesome.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. So going more into throwing out names, where have I worked, where have I been? I was recently at an agency working as an art director, picked up a lot of skills that had to do with more than just working within XD, but also learning how to video animate using Adobe After Effects, learning how to illustrate, and combine that with my Photoshop skills and bring all those different visuals to life was a lot of the work that I had done there. I've also worked at Adobe as an experience designer, picked up a couple branding and strategy skills at small startups, also done my share of artist residencies and going to conferences and just looking at any opportunity that really appeals to me, because the creative community is always so friendly and always so giving that everybody is just so willing to connect with you and learn about your story, learn about what you have to offer. And so really the sky's the limit as to where I will end up, where I will go next, and where, Alexis will end up, right?
Absolutely. Well, this is the slide right here that you guys should pay attention to, because in about less than 2 hours, Joanne's going to be able to review your portfolio. And she's seen her share of portfolios, especially through all this experience. And talk about multifaceted, and being creative and just getting into communities and different design communities. You had an artist residency at some point.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so it's just, I never like to limit myself under a title. So like even if I was a designer, I'd be like, I actually feel like I really like this video producing, like a little opportunity happening. And so just learning about that, and you get to open up yourself into another community of all these different people who have worked in entertainment. And sometimes if I'm feeling stuck in my design, I just like to think of what interests do I have outside of design? Like, do I like dogs? Yes, I love dogs. So I just did some dog walking for a bit, and I got to learn about what it's like to work with animals versus humans. Very different things. And then I was like, what if we can design for dogs? And there's a whole nother thing there. And I think SF is so dog friendly that I'm like,
so dog friendly.
Yeah.
I think the chat's pretty dog friendly as well.
Chat is
we have a lot of dog fans in the chat yesterday.
Yeah.
So anytime you want to just throw out a cute dog name,
we're all over
my
that.
My favorite thing.
Yeah, we got some dog names yesterday. We got a dog named Potato.
Remember Chive?
Chives. Yeah, that was a great one.
Speaking of names,
Yes.
we need to think of a name for this for your app you're creating.
Yeah, we got a lot to do, guys.
Yes.
We got tons to do. We also got a story from Justin on how he got into UX design. Says he's a self-taught artist, oil paints, color pencil, digital illustration. That made me want to go into graphic design, which then at college led me into the UX side.
See, there's no wrong way to enter.
Yeah.
Enter this field. There's no wrong way to become a designer and to hone in your skills. And if anything, the more diverse you can get in what you're doing and how you adjust your creative process, how you learn how to be creative. It's a muscle. You just got to exercise it, right?
Right.
And there's no wrong way to do it. If it's going around naming dogs, so be it.
Exactly. And Justin, I hope you're continuing to work those oil paints and color pencil, and just always going back and working those muscles as well with design. We're also getting some dog names, Face and Lenny. I would love to learn more about those names. And Marcella's next dog is going to be Mango. Mangoes are very, very, they're like my favorite fruit, because you can tell when they're ripe. They're squishy.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward. It's really a hit or miss with other fruits for me, so mango's a great name.
Love it.
So to say.
Next time we'll do a mango app or something.
Yeah, I would be all over that.
Oh, yeah.
So, going into what the project was about so that I can refresh you all on what we were working on yesterday, as well as what we were trying to accomplish. This is the overview of what day one was about. we had a research opportunity where I wanted to create a health and wellness application that had to do with confronting the needs that users may have when completing an in-home experience. And this is through using Adobe XD and figuring out how different plugins can not only quicken your workflow, but also keep you in the loop about how to be more of a aware designer, look up different ways that you can access all these different resources that you may not have thought of when working without plugins. And alongside that, I'll be showing you guys how to look up competitive research and really integrate that into informing how your application should be built and can be built. And thirdly, we went into wireframes, doing some sketches, talking about what's so important about them, and coming up with iterations of going into grayscale wireframing and then implementing some color. So for today, for day 2, we're going to be going into how to complete that full body of work with color, how to resonate that with creating an application that is accessible, that is something that everyone can get their hands on, whether they have used an application often or not. And so that is what day 2 is all about.
Awesome.
We'll also be sharing some really helpful resources that we found along the way, just to get you guys additionally more inspired to look up topics and design challenges that you guys might be interested in picking up.
Yeah.
So a lot for you guys.
Very comprehensive overview.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, we're just going to be working on making sure we can, maybe we'll go into a little bit of designing systems, and we're going to keep plugging with plugins as well.
Oh, yeah, plugins.
I mean, we also have plugins throughout all of this, so everyone just stay tuned. It's only going to go up from here.
Definitely.
I dare say we may even get to the moon.
You know, I've been feeling pretty spacey.
Yeah, we'll explore some space later on.
Yeah. What's your favorite planet?
Well, I'm a little biased, but it's Earth.
They do have a lot of oxygen.
We do.
Yeah. It's pretty friendly to humans.
Love it. Awesome.
Great.
Okay.
Going on, just to reiterate what the research opportunity was. So I'd mentioned that the application had to do with making the in-home testing experience a lot more feasible. And I've listed some examples of what those tests could be. And really, in any point of your life, anyone could come across an in-home test. And that was really what inspired me to go forth with using an application, using that opportunity to take advantage of our mobile phones and think of what are some ways that we can actually integrate this into the usefulness of creating a calming and soothing experience of going through a test. So this is what a couple of current user experiences that I found of what an in-home test looks like, and there are a lot of different components. And if it's the first time someone's going through an in-home test, it could be very overwhelming. And at the bottom here, I've added some quotes of this is a lot of stuff, and this is serious. I can't mess this up, and so a lot of anxiety.
Not a pleasurable experience. Taking a test in any form, and especially ones that are this important to your own personal health.
Definitely. And there are a lot of misconceptions around in-home testing, like it's the final result of your health status, which is definitely not true. It's just the beginning of figuring out your health status. And so there's a lot of opportunity there for a mobile application to come in and clear up those misconceptions. So within that large overview, I wanted to come into what is the pain point, a single pain point that I can focus on, that I know that I can create a mobile application on. So this is really helpful to do when you have this really big problem. My big problem is that in the healthcare space, there's a lot of different in-home testing experiences. So how can I really narrow that into a way that I can approach and make an actionable project? And so this is where I found that
which is a skill. It's a skill that comes in handy when you're given something that maybe isn't traditionally digital. A lot of entry projects, a lot of companies, sometimes they're going to throw something at you that has nothing to, that hasn't traditionally been online or accessible to people online. At-home care instructions, probably not. It's up there with with DMV, right? It's stuff that probably could use some help getting digital. So it's a good practice, what Joanne's talking about, to just start understanding what your pain points are when given a problem so big, you know? And so Joanne's really done a great job narrowing in on what she can on what you can design for here.
Yeah, and if at any moment it gets really overwhelming to figure out all these different pain points and narrow in on what you can make actionable, I like to just get out my sticky notes and list all the different pain points that I can think of. Additionally, from an instructions list, like what is it like for someone to have their result and then go forth with that. And coming up with all those different lists then gets you to organize, okay, what is the most feasible for now to the most high impact or low impact that it can create. So that's one way that can be very helpful. And so this instructions list is very overwhelming, right? It's all this small text.
Yeah, like almost like makes me uncomfortable looking directly.
Yeah, it's small text and it's just a lot. It's not even numbered, so you don't know where to start. And so it can be very overwhelming. That adds to the stress of someone taking an in-home test. And so this is where I wanted to create an application. So looking into the competitive analysis, this is where we looked at all the applications that I found were doing really well and also had a very high rate of downloads in the App Store. And so this is where our first plugin kicked in. Mimic was a way where one can put in the URL of the company's website, and you can parse out all of the imagery, the colors, and the font that they're using, just to compare and contrast what each healthcare company is doing and why is this succeeding. And so I had already done it here for you guys, but Mimic is right over here. And you can just click on it and you enter in a URL right here and click extract, and it gives you these style guides, these templates where you can just compare and contrast. And we found that a lot of these applications uses blue. Blue is a very calming color, it's soothing, and keeping it very minimal on the bright accent colors. And so that was the big helpful takeaway for Mimic. It also helps to decrease the amount of kind of like this workflow process. Since you can do everything in XD, you don't have to change and go into a browser, which I always get distracted by. When I go into a browser, I'm like, oh, well, it doesn't hurt to check my email. It doesn't hurt to check Instagram too.
So it's just streamlining your workflow even more with the help of this plugin, for sure. And it's a good starting point for as a template for a style guide. It doesn't give you necessarily everything you need, but it's a really good like starting point. The little nitpicky colors, and even some. I think they show some fonts. Is that Mimic shows some fonts?
Yeah,
and even down to some. Yeah. I mean, those are essentially what you need, especially for in your case to compare, right? And if she's looking for like a color style, like what's the theme around that? And that's this plugin is totally going to do that for you, do all that work for you, without even leaving XD. Unreal. What a time!
Unreal. I know.
Tools have come a long way.
I know. And if at any moment in the chat, guys, if you have discovered really awesome plugins in XD, just shout them out.
Please do.
If it's not on, like if I'm not using it, I'm happy to just quickly download it and get using it, because I think plugins are a great way to just start conversations amongst designers. Be like, hey, have you guys checked this cool plugin that I just found? And just, it's a good way to get to know people.
Yeah.
You know, what's your plugin preference?
Everyone, what's your plugin preference? What's your favorite plugin right now? I just found one.
You did?
Yeah, and it's awesome. It's called it's called Wikify.
Wikify.
Yeah, and all you have to do, here's my little screen. All you have to do is come over to the side, Wikify, and put in like a topic. So I'm gonna put in cats, just to change up the stream for us because we've been discussing dogs. And Wikify is working, and look. It changes the description here to like a Wikipedia article about cats. So I don't even need to like think about trying to source that knowledge.
Yeah.
So I love this app here. Let's Wikify another thing. Let's do DMV.
DMV. Okay. Yeah.
Why not? It's a little dry, but why not?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
There we go.
That is some hardcore information.
Yeah, and I don't even have to, and I'm just still in XD. I can just keep going on my merry way, designing whatever I'm designing and having all this actual real facts coming in.
Yeah, this definitely helps because I found in like client meetings when we were in the early stages of creating wireframes and we needed some fill-in text, we would use lorem ipsum, which is just like, you know, it's just gibberish, which is a great way to use as filler text, but our clients were a little distracted by the fact that it wasn't English or it wasn't any type of language. And they're like, what is this? And it kind of made them feel uneasy. So using this plugin, if you are able to search in just a general scope of the topic of the application you're designing, then it'd be a great way to ease people who aren't designers to know.
It's a cool play. It's one of those cool ones. Everyone play around with it, just helping you get some copy on the on your designs. Richard was letting us know about Stark. We used Stark yesterday.
Right.
I think you used it briefly. Undraw, love Undraw. Icons, symbols plugins, awesome.
Definitely.
Anna T, what plugin was that? That was called Wikify.
Wikify.
It's a great one.
Also, a really great plugin that Alexis had mentioned was UI Faces, and I actually figured out how to, you know, change multiple faces within just one go. And so if
This
you
is
just,
a good one.
I just click all the sources because I never like to close my, you know, sense of opportunity. And so I just click apply and I highlight all the different boxes, and it just all does the work for you, and you get to see it generate people. Looks like one guy is a little stressed. Some people are happy and looking really great. Yeah, these are humans.
These are humans. Maybe we can try to use some maybe we can throw some UI faces in your designs today.
This is really helpful for personas. This is helpful for everything that has to do with creating, you know, just a presence within your web experience.
We're drawing the faces.
We're drawing faces. And so what we had done after doing that competitive research, we went into sketching. We went into what is the user flow. It's always helpful to have that overview plan, and then going into the nitty-gritty drawings, putting in those details and making all that happen. And along here, I just had a little fun, and I had an emoji, and I wanted to create a confetti pattern out of it, which is also a plugin. And so you just highlight the single icon or image that you have, and you run it, and it creates this whole party. And so that was what I'd done, and I just lowered the opacity to make it into a fun little background for you guys.
It's the things she does for us, you guys.
I just want to make sure that, you know, we all have fun.
She just wants to have fun.
I just want to have fun, guys.
We're having fun.
Yeah, how are we feeling, guys? How are we feeling?
Yeah, anybody shouting out any more app name ideas? Maybe we can go through maybe the overarching topic of the app.
Yeah, yeah. So the overarching topic is to create a health and wellness application that instructs users to go through an in-home experience seamlessly, confronting their anxieties, really give them that human-to-human connection when going through the testing experience.
Yeah. Maybe we can even see some of the apps so we can maybe some of the key features will help create this app name. It's one of those things where app names are like they sound super easy because usually they're like one word, like Uber or something, or just, I don't know,
Behance.
Yeah, you know, they're one word, but it's so much harder than it looks naming something. So chat, keep thinking of app name ideas throughout the chat, and if you could just shout them out, I'll write them down.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So you go over that overview of just the structure of where we were at yesterday. We started out with creating these sketches and then making them into this grayscale wireframe. And I wanted to focus in on the fact that creating a health and wellness application has a lot to do with dealing with people's intimate information, just about like all the way down to like where they're from, all the way down to who their healthcare insurance provider is. And that is all sensitive information that I wanted to respect when users come into the application. And since the main goal is to get through the testing experience, I knew that creating this onboarding experience of asking of their information should be an optional feature that they do. And so that was a way that was the first part of the application where we provide this copy text that really humanizes the voice within the application. And so there's a lot of segments where it says, learning about you will help us offer the best support that you need, which is so awesome to hear. There's like such few app experiences that do that and that can really facilitate that conversation with me. And going into that informational aspect, I always create a skip option at the bottom here so that if you ever want to come back out to, Sam had thrown out a...
Sam, it's a good name.
Sam,
Sam Anderson giving a name suggestion.
Reminds me of something. But
we have Fitayu, which we heard yesterday from Surajil. Thank you for that one. I wrote that one down. And then Liberate from Sam.
Yeah. And hi, Kevin.
Health Vitality is another one. I like that one.
Yeah. Kevin had pointed out that it's an important pain point. He's also worked at a genetic startup selling in-home testing kits, and it's important for people to activate their tests correctly and enjoy the process.
Yeah. So wow, that's what are the odds, right? You worked at a genetic startup.
The odds.
Yeah, totally important.
Yeah.
Like those first, it's one of those things where it's onboarding is important in any app. Yeah. But when it's an onboarding connected to something physical and something physical that's going to determine just your health for the next how many years, or understanding your health for next how many years, even more important.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's awesome.
You know, something that's a little bit of a leeway.
Yeah.
I had a thought.
Yeah. Oh, please tell me your thoughts. I am here for this. So
when I was thinking along the lines of like, okay, this healthcare space is like, you know, it's so interesting. It's been happening for a while now, but tech is so young. There's a lot of like opportunities there where we can play around with the tools coming out of technology. And I thought of another application where I was like, what if we use AI technology where you can scan maybe like a wound that you have, that you get. Like, what if you like fall off a swing and get a scab and you're like, I don't know how to like take care of this, and like, what do I do? Or if you're too flustered to figure out how to take care of your wound, this application allows you to scan that wound and gives you the proper instructions of how to take care of it. Like, what if there was a world you can do that?
You know, I don't think we're far off. I feel like there may be some applications that might actually do it. We're opening up the door of AI. That's a whole nother ball game in terms of what you can access, what you can't access.
And just around the corner, there'd be a little box that gives you a little Band-Aid.
Oh.
You know, just to make that wound go away.
Maybe a drone drops a Band-Aid.
Yeah, it just goes boop.
Just drops perfectly.
And it has your
Band-Aid
name on it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did we get any more app names? Oh, Calmfluent. Nicole, I like that.
Calmfluent.
Calmfluent. I'll write it down.
Hey, have you used Calmfluent?
Oh, you know what'll help with that? I know that test is overwhelming, but have you used Calmfluent? I kind of like that. Okay. I'll keep writing these down. Sam.
Haven.
Richard
Suggested Haven. Haven's really great too.
Sam Anderson.
Sam, yeah. Validating my ideas. He said skaters definitely need that. I was like, yeah.
Amazon Health, yeah.
Amazon Health.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Oh, we got about 50 seconds until Chat to Win happens. So we're going to try to do something that we did yesterday in the chat, which is do a digital wave. And I'm really glad you're all here for this because it worked out really well. So why don't we start it in at 30 seconds prior. So just type wave, and we're just going to do a digital wave. And after Chat to Win, me and Joanne will do the wave. We'll finish it out.
For sure.
And if you're sitting behind your computer, do the wave. Just just do it. All right, everyone, just type wave.
Yeah, it's Thursday. We all need a good wave.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I love when people meet each other in the chat.
I know, everyone's saying hi to each other.
Yeah. This is the time, guys. Chat to Win 100 Sticker Mule stickers.
What would you make if you had 100?
I'm gonna think about that. When we come back, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And back the other way.
Woo! I have to make a sound effect.
All right, one more.
Woo!
What would you do with 100 sticker mural stickers? Man, I really love the idea of just like stickers of your face
Yeah.
out with your like website underneath.
Yeah.
Probably put like a slogan. Like the future is female maybe or something.
You just dropped that like it was nothing.
Oh.
What is future is female?
Oh, it's just what the future's gonna be. All right, keep chatting to win, you guys. Can't wait to find out who this lucky person is. Oh, everyone's still waving. I also like that people are waving with the emoji. That's a great one.
It's very cordial.
Yeah, I think if we're gonna do like an emoji. Oh, Julio. Or Julio. Or Julio. Congratulations, 100 free sticker
Congrats.
meal stickers, 3x3. Perfect for placing all over your laptop and water bottle. Everyone in the chat, because you did such a good job at the wave, we also have a prize for you guys because that's just how it goes. Adobe Live 19, you get 10 stickers for $1. Awesome. That's a great deal. And I think you get a couple
awesome
extra
deal.
in the pack. I keep hearing that. Like when you order 10, you get like 11 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just well-rounded.
Awesome. I expect to see a whole bunch of stickers just appearing in the city. I would love that.
Yeah, maybe a sticker of just the two of us. Just
Alexis and I had mentioned that we wanted to create just like a screenshot of us on Adobe Live and print it out as Christmas cards and just give it to everyone.
yes, that will happen.
Yeah. So that was another idea.
Love it.
Just popping up in my head. So after we've established this onboarding aspect that is completely optional, we go into the checklist. And so I haven't gotten the chance to completely finish the color scheme of the application, so this is still in half black and white. And oh, look at that, that's my contact information in case you guys need it. So the materials checklist has a lot to do with the fact that it's important for the person who is testing has all of their materials in front of them, whether that is a test tube or a test stick or other things. This is a great way to segment that information between screens so that user can be like, oh, check, I have all those things, and go on to the next screen. Also has the availability of contact us if anything is wrong with your testing experience or if there's just any type of questions that you have.
And you've started to apply some color to these screens.
Yeah.
You really like, we were talking yesterday about this wave pattern, you know, like invoking calmness through these colors.
Definitely.
It's going to be excited. I'm really excited to be very calm at the end of this.
Yeah.
I feel like this app design will actually make us calmer.
I actually want to talk about just like what calms all of us. And I know we had asked that yesterday.
Chat. Let us know again what calms you. We got some
yeah.
great answers yesterday. What? Yeah. What calms? What? Distant thunder.
Distant.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Some lo-fi beats.
Lo-fi beats. That has been such a thing on YouTube. It's a great way to
just
set
to get
the
work
mood.
done. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
I do love that.
And along with that materials checklist, we dove into body preparation. So this is something that I haven't seen a lot within health and wellness applications that had to do with completing a test. It had to do with just this reflection aspect of remember you're in a quiet space and just keep doing a deep breathing exercise. And in case that you aren't ready, you can close out of this application, which is why there's a begin button at the end here. So it pauses the user's experience before they just dive into the testing experience, just so they can check in with themselves. And so that was what this screen was all about and hoping to do for the user. And then we go into the 5-step process of figuring out this is how you start your test, going to the next step and going to the next, and it's all separated within screens again so that users could have this built confidence. Once they get past the first step, they're like, oh, I can do the next and I can do the next. And they have this element right here, which is where users are invited to swipe through the steps. So in case that they want to refer back to step 1 when they're at step 4, they are welcome to do so. And so now that I think about that, I think it'd be helpful to add some arrows on either side here so that is a call to action.
That's great.
So I'll probably be doing that. And then we want to add in this success screen. We went forward with establishing an illustrative visual aspect so that it brings in this metaphor of like, great, you did this, and given that satisfaction, this delight moment,
Right.
being like, completed this process.
That's the beauty of illustrations, right? They're very playful, very,
They tell a story.
they tell a story in a very simple way.
Yeah.
And we used Undraw, the plugin Undraw to find that one.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't fit your style guide, or change those colors. That's the beauty of these files.
Marcella has mentioned that Fitbit has a cool feature that is breathe, and they guide you to get calm while you breathe along with the app. That is very
That would
awesome.
be great. That would be great to place like something like that in this as well.
Yeah.
Like maybe that relaxation moment. We
Yeah.
talked about that. Maybe that's where you get to go over to like your Headspace app and just become zen. And you know, a lot of these at-home tests, you know, just one specifically like pregnancy tests or at-home tests that you take. And there is a lot of stress and anxiety around those.
Right.
So maybe even like pairing up already existing apps that really help you
Definitely.
de-stress would be really cool.
Definitely.
And in keeping things in gray boxes allows you to kind of change that up right now. Right before she puts all the beautiful things on top of it, she can change her ideas. She can let them evolve.
Exactly. And that's the really good part about designing. It's that you always need to create this opportunity for iterations and for feedback to come in and be open to morphing your designs in a way that you may not have expected them to grow. And so that is a really great point that you brought up there, Alexis.
Yeah, it's we don't want to go high fidelity too quickly. Yeah, we always have time for that. We all know we can design well.
Right. And then going into the aspect of once you're done with the step-by-step process, some testing experiences have a timer aspect to it. And so that can also be a very highly anxious moment or a highly anticipated moment of like the user's thinking, what do I do now? I have like 10 minutes to spare. And so this is an opportunity for the application to offer in helpful resources like support resources if it is a pregnancy test, community care if it's not exactly a medical support that you need but more so local support just to help calm you, give you that mental energy of like what you're thinking is validated, but also there are a lot of points to remember when going through figuring out your results.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to create this gamifying aspect to it. I know that when people, I found through user research that there are a lot of different emotions and different thoughts that come up when one is really anxious. You tend to go towards the worst possible scenario that can happen, and suddenly those chances of that becoming true becomes kind of your reality when it might not be true. And so this gamifying aspect puts in those bold statements that are misconceptions, such as one test is the ultimate result of your health, and you have the option to choose whether it's true or false. And if it's if someone clicks true and they want to test that theory, it tells them no, it's actually false. You're highly encouraged to visit your primary care doctor and do additional testing. So this is also a way to put in those facts within the application built in already.
Yeah. And it's interesting to note how your designs actually help facilitate this aura of making sure you feel comfortable, easing anxiety. You know, maybe you could talk more a little bit about like why you've chosen your certain style.
Yeah.
The actual style around it. Because I think that would benefit us a lot.
Most definitely. And when your results are ready to review, there's also this text right here that says, no matter the result, additional testing is advised with the healthcare provider. The result of this test is not definitive of your condition. So it's always helpful to continuously restate those statements in different ways so that that truth is really embedded within the user's head as they're going through the experience. And then there's the next step process of take as much time you need to process this. Many people live long lives with early detection and care if that is the state of your test. And when ready, see a few suggested ways to help. So hopefully, if that is the experience that a lot of people are following through, and maybe you're not reading the text. This is where color kicks in, where we have these waves right here. They're really gray right now, but in the color screen where I was implementing colors, I wanted to emit this metaphor of ocean waves. Water waves have shown to be very calming for people. Just seeing like open water, whether it's a lake or ocean or river, it's helpful to see just a really large force that helps calm.
And the movement itself, probably.
Exactly.
Just having something move in a very gradual way.
Yeah. So I definitely added those elements as a background so that when you're maybe not reading the text, you still have a quick visual of what it emits, where it hopes to emit.
Got it. That's great.
Yeah, and then I came up with some last 4 screens of different options of a next step that you can take once you get your results. And whether they are a result that you need to take a next step action towards, or maybe you are done with it, this is also just a great opportunity to gain more knowledge on connecting with your primary care doctor, going to a local support center, or ordering a second test even. There's a lot of ways that one can go about their next journey and their next step after the in-home testing experience. So I went down to just thinking, like, what if there is a transportation service? What if someone who has like a hard time getting from point A to point B, what if we just thought of that for them? Since they might be overwhelmed with a lot of thoughts and they have to figure out maybe how they're going to share this with their community, just getting to their local support center and making that a streamlined process for them that they don't have to worry about. That was a feature that I hoped to implement within this application.
I love it. I love the holistic nature of this app and where it's kind of what it could help people do and alleviate people's lives. You've definitely done your homework and kind of thinking of the transportation system and even just ordering another test. Like it's so, sometimes you're like, I don't think the result is super valid. Maybe I should get another test. It's great, just an option to have it right there in app, and just thinking through your users' actions before the test, during and after. I think it's only going to make your designs more comprehensive and more successful after you like get this in people's hands. So that's great, Jo.
Yeah, and definitely. Oh, we have a question. What's better, Sketch, InVision, or XD? I definitely know the answer to this question.
I think we all know the answer to this one.
Yes. It starts with an X and ends with a D.
There you go. If you don't believe us, just wait about 10 minutes, and we'll show you something else.
Definitely. And so this app just ends up with going through this flow of like confirming an appointment maybe that you might want to have with your primary care doctor, and just asking questions like, is this okay? Is this something that, is viable for you? And that's a totally different language than asking confirm your doctor or confirm your appointment, which is more of a command. And so thinking about this language, thinking about how it speaks, thinking about how it looks, like I kept the text really large so that it's an opportunity for someone to quickly navigate their eyes towards what is the most important information on the screen, and go on forth with having their information. Awesome. And so, that's where we left off with, and that is an in-depth overview. If we do have people joining in the midst of the session, I'm happy to quickly just reiterate what we're doing.
For sure.
If
anyone is just joining us for the stream, we're here with Joanne Lee, and she is currently taking us through her app design that helps alleviate a lot of the pressure for people doing at-home testing. So it's almost like an app walkthrough guide. She's given us a lot of plugins to play with, and as well as is now on the gonna start actually applying some really beautiful layers of color and interaction. So stick around, and again, about 44 minutes, we're gonna have a portfolio review. So me and Joanne will be able to take a look at your portfolios. Make sure you submit. We'd love to see them and talk about them, and we'll talk anything, anything,
Right.
anything.
Right.
We're here for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But also you're here for us. We're learning from you as much as you're learning from us.
We're having a conversation.
Yeah. Good design is actually a conversation. That's what we came to agree on yesterday.
That's a good sticker idea.
There it is.
Yeah.
Someone make that sticker.
Exactly. That's an awesome statement to have. It's always something that I like to remind myself of when I feel too pressured to be like, is this idea feasible? Is this something that I feel like will actually be helpful? But no, it's actually a talking point. You got to create these designs so that you can bring in front of people and ask them to have their input. And you never know what people might say, which is why it's so unpredictable being a designer, because people have all sorts of things to say.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. It's just, again, practicing design is important, and making sure you know how to create these elements is important, but also practicing how you problem solve.
Yeah.
And a good way to do that is trying out new ideas like this. This is kind of far, we don't know if something like this could exist. I think it could. But even just the conversation around it is a success in my eyes. So in my eyes. And Joanne's also a fantastic designer, so it's going to be clean and fresh and beautiful as well.
Kind of like a grocery store. They're clean and fresh.
Oh my gosh, you are just a grocery store.
I am just a grocery store.
We're all just grocery
Full
stores.
of mangoes.
Full of mangoes.
Yes.
Thanks for joining anybody who is still waving, giving us a wave. I really appreciate it. It warms my heart. Yeah. So what do we have in our arsenal right now when it comes to applying applying like colors and fonts? Like, what is your preferred method of applying a design system or a design system?
Yeah, so what I usually do is I like to just identify what is my style guide, looking at the combinations of different typefaces, looking at the hierarchy of where I build and implement these different fonts. Really helps me to see what calls out for people. Also is like a secondary text. For those like contact us blurbs, it's helpful to have a secondary font playing in there. I also wanted to create this color palette that was a mix of a blue-green style, just to bring in a new refreshing feel to the blue, and making these darker colors, putting that and associating that with text versus these lighter colors can be a great background. And so I really wanted to implement as much color as I can, but in a way that isn't overwhelming, in a way that just immerses you into a whole different experience. And so that was how I established my design system. Do
you use any tools to kind of find your color palette specific that you like, or is it just kind of all feeling?
Yeah, so a lot of the tools that I use there's some here within my plugins. Bloop. You go into, I have a couple. I have Instant Color, which is really helpful to just go in and be like, I don't really have a color palette yet. I want to get started on what options do I have? So Tailwind colors, that sounds interesting. You just click on that and you can generate these colors that appear somewhere on your screen. Here we go. So this is a great way to just have the whole grayscale if you're sticking with more of a darker tone. If you're creating a pumpkin patch app, there you go. If you want to go for more of like this blue, maybe social media or, healthcare, that is all up your alley over here. These pinks and these vibrant colors are so fun. Like, they remind me of like music festivals.
That seems like right on the trend with that.
Something that's like quick and easy to use. Like maybe restaurants can take advantage of these colors. These bright purples are really fun. Let's see.
Cool.
Yeah, these greens can go for a really like botanical feel. You can really go crazy with these. And they're all right here waiting for you, in this corner, this isolated corner right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pumpkins, yeah.
Pumpkins. Who's ready for?
'Tis the season. It is.
Yeah. Does anyone know where they're going to be for Halloween?
Oh, please give some recommendations for Halloween costumes.
Yes.
I have no idea.
Yes.
Do you know what you're gonna be?
I wanted to be a bean sprout.
Mm.
They're yellow at the top, and then they're all white. So I wanted to wear like a yellow beanie and just wear all white and be a bean sprout.
Okay.
I
Do you have other food friends that could maybe join you in like a dish?
Yes.
Like, is someone gonna be like tofu?
Maybe. Maybe. I did have someone. Kevin wanted to be an egg roll.
Ah,
Kevin,
love it.
Kevin is a great friend and also a great partner of mine. So he
Egg roll-ins.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't know how he's gonna go about it, but yeah. In the past, I've been a strawberry. I've been an egg.
Amazing. So a lot of food theme. If anyone else has any really great costume ideas that they're going, please let us know, because it is the season. A little spooky. A little spooky season.
A little orangey.
Mm-hmm.
A little leafy.
A little orange color palette. Mm-hmm. What is this plugin you have up?
This color designer plugin is something else that I've downloaded because there's a lot of different plugins for color pickers. And this really allows you to explore the different shades and tints and also look at color harmonies, which is really helpful when you have one color that you really want to use and think of other poppy colors that you want to associate with it.
I see.
And this is a great way to, can you name it? You can name your colors.
Wow. You just found an activity for Joanne.
That changes a lot of things. I think I might be speaking the language of color after I go through this plugin, but that is a great way to just have fun with your things. You can also go in through images and type in whatever that you're looking for. So if it is dogs or if it is healthcare. Let's see what pops up there.
Oh my goodness.
I know, look at that palm.
Oh. Okay. A lot of blues happening here as well.
Yeah, a lot of blues. So it's a very universal color that's
Thanks
associated.
for sharing those plugins.
Yeah, definitely.
All still in XD, right where you need them.
Exactly.
So you don't need to scan the web and get lost in pixels, which I've done for hours.
Definitely. Just open like multiple tabs of like, this could work, but I don't know.
Right. It's good to have it all in one space.
Yeah, that and...
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
This happened very quickly.
That is not supposed to be. That wasn't done.
Got it.
That was done by the app elves that came out at night and just did all the designs.
Got it. How do your designs happen? Elves.
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 They
How did you get such great designs for the elves?
know all about plugins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna put in some color. But also want to bring in this other plugin where I got this illustration from. So this illustration is found at Undraw. Undraw is this amazing plugin where they give you illustrations for your personal use or for your client use, and you can actually switch between colors that you prefer, and it gives you all of those options as well. And so this is where I decided to move forward in creating visual aspects at the step-by-step process of when someone goes through their design flow. And yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys.
Nice.
Like, this is fun.
So while Joanne picked some of those illustrations for us, just want to remind everybody, in about 35 minutes, we're going to have a portfolio review. Woo! We're going to go to space. We're going to explore your designs. We're going to talk about how we can just be better designers. And it's going to be really fun. So make sure to submit. And yeah, there's so many different ways you can have your projects laid out. We're going to take a look at them in Behance, so it'll be great.
Definitely.
Kind of looking at your case studies as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Alexis, what's your journey with like, portfolio building?
Portfolio building, man, that is, it is an ongoing effort.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have feedback. It doesn't even matter if they're in design or not, right? I started with a a WYSIWYG, so what you see is what you get type tool. And it's, I think I started with like Squarespace.
Nice.
It was my original, and it still is right now. I'm currently, and then I'm working, and I still want to always build my portfolio.
Yeah.
So I found another really great site called ReadyMag, and they're great for portfolios, a little more explorative, a little more animation based. So I just think it's fun. I think it's always just so fun to build out your portfolio in different ways, and it's always that like Julio, like I need to make a brand new portfolio. Like that's like, it's like the number one phrase I hear like people say like, oh,
Yeah.
I got to work on my portfolio.
Yeah.
The one tip I will say, and I think helped me get through my building of portfolios years ago, was it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't.
No.
And because I know we're all perfectionists, but sometimes the hardest thing to do is the easiest thing. And I think that really lends into portfolio building. So everyone who feels like, oh, I'm not ready, or my work's not there yet, just make it, and it'll evolve over time. Portfolios are just an extension of you.
I like that.
Yeah,
they
just
are.
a little snippet into what you can do.
And don't you change every couple years or even every day?
Absolutely.
You're growing constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why it's a great feeling to have when you're like, I need to update my portfolio, because you know it's not a direct reflection of you, because you're always just gaining more information.
Exactly.
Always learning more.
Exactly. So everyone get out there and keep making those portfolios fun. And they're also fun. Like we know a couple really, really creative portfolios out there. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but Sam Anderson's portfolio has evolved into something quite different than an average portfolio. He took it as an opportunity to just make something fun about something he's interested in. I know for the most part we're using portfolios to get jobs, and that's great too. And we'll give really great feedback for you guys in about 30 minutes. So make sure to submit. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what I'm doing here is I initially had these pills as little boxes on the side here. So they were initially like this, kind of like a check mark list.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I changed that because I realized if someone were to be holding a phone, it's hard to reach over and check those boxes. So in order to make that a lot easier, I just created this space in which someone can choose and just check it off, like a highlight. I just made that into a pill shape. So different things, different looks, but the same functionality. I also want to point out, I used to always want to have like the top text to be, like top to bottom, like going very wide to narrow. But I realized if it's a link like this, like that says contact us, it's helpful to just press shift and enter and have that link together so that it's just a cohesive call to action right there. So at any moment that you're working with text, that's a good tip to have.
Typography. It's an art in itself.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, everyone just seeing some questions about portfolio review. Yeah, there should be a tab on the right next to the chat, I believe. And you will submit, and we'll look through them. But yeah, so 30 minutes, guys. We have some time.
Yeah, and so I'm just going in and making the text really dark, and so it is still blue, but the reason why I don't want to use complete black is because it would provide a really strong contrast into the other colors that I'm using. So most of the time when you're utilizing an application, if you use a color picker and try to figure out what color it is, it will most likely not be black because it is a very dark shade. And so going about there, what's the chat doing? What's everyone doing?
Chat's talking
there?
about portfolios. Oh, we have an idea for a costume. I think Black Panther would be a cool costume.
That is a cool
It's a great costume. Dress up. Black Panther. Great movie.
Yeah, definitely.
One year I went as, I'm about to show my age, but my partner has blonde hair. And I have black hair, and I went
You mean
as
your wife?
My wife. I'm sorry, so we went as Wayne and Garth from Wayne's World, and it really worked out great. Sometimes you just gotta, I don't know if anyone in the chat has seen Wayne's World, but it's one of my favorite movies. That was my favorite costume. And I think one year I did Bob's Burgers. That's a classic. That one's easy, just get a spatula and an apron.
It's such a crowd favorite, though.
It's a crowd pleaser for sure. Yeah. Love this. Well, maybe we could talk about a little bit around like some great resources that get people thinking and talking about design. I know that was something that we really wanted to touch upon. So what are some ways that you've kind of got started into like the design world itself?
Yeah. So I actually got started, I was actually on Behance a lot, and looking at people's different process work was really helpful. I also got into watching a lot of like documentaries. I think Abstract on
Netflix. Yeah,
just showcases a lot of different designers from all over the world, and it was just really inspiring to watch those things. Also, I would just go on like different blogs that people have on the side, and just hearing them talk and hearing them have their internal narrative of like what they think of design was really helpful. And
do you have any podcasts you listen to?
I definitely, ever since you had mentioned Wireframe to me, which is created by someone who works at Adobe, Koi Vin. He creates these podcasts called Wireframe, and it has everything to do with all the different definitions of what makes good design good. And so he talks about civic engagement. He talks about sound. He talks about bad design. He talks about
everything surrounding user experience. I think is the theme.
Exactly.
So if you are in UX and you need a good podcast to immerse yourself in, Wireframe's a great one.
Definitely.
Personal favorite, for sure. But going to talks, hearing people's dialogue that they have with themselves around design is a great way to kind of immerse yourself.
Yeah, I went to school with Alexis, so what we did a lot in practice was creating our own talks and practicing the skill of having opinions within the design world. It's always helpful to just have a starting point to bring to the table. You know, always have opinions, but hold them loosely. So whenever you do have those conversations with other people and you discover other things that may change your view, that is something that I learned a lot through by meeting different people.
Yeah, and Joanna's actually even has done some great work in educating herself around having public talks. You did Women Talk. Women Talk Design. If anyone needs a resource, if there are any women designers out in the crowd, Women Talk Design is a great way to great place and resource to kind of like help you figure out how to do public speaking, specifically around designs and your designs, and that's always going to be a great skill to have.
Yeah, definitely.
As a person, but also as a designer as well, being able to say and explain your project and describe what it is in front of people.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
That's not an easy thing to do.
I remember when I was constructing those thoughts, I was like, I don't know what to say because I'm still learning. And having that mindset really created a block within my head because I thought that I had nothing to offer. When in fact, everyone wants to hear about your work in progress. Everyone wants to hear.
Everyone hear that, chat? Everybody wants to hear about your work in progress.
Yeah.
So wherever your portfolio is at right now, throw it in there. We'll take a look at it.
Definitely.
We'll talk about it. We'll be gentle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great statement to make around process work and your work in general and whatever stage you're at with it.
Right. And it just goes forth with getting to know what your strengths are.
Yeah.
Sometimes if public speaking is really something that you've tried really your hardest in and you really enjoyed it, but you found that you're stronger in other areas too, which is really awesome. It's just a great way to get out there, go into the uncomfortable spot, and invite yourself to pick up these skills. They're like, oh, what makes me a Superman? What makes me a Superwoman? What makes me a great asset to a team?
Superman or Superwoman or super non-gender?
Exactly.
Exactly. It's okay.
Yeah.
Nicole goes to meetups. That's great. That is a great place to meet people and talk about design. It's called Meetup. I get it. It's kind of like cheeky.
Yeah.
Those are great. Do you have any meetup groups that
Yeah.
you know of that you'd like to kind of share with the group?
Yeah, so within meetup.com, they have a design for healthcare meetup, and they just give me a lot of email notifications whenever they have an event coming in, and they're able to just be like, hey, we have something coming up here, it's free, make sure you have,
That's the thing about a lot
schedules.
of these groups. For the most part, just people wanting to talk about design, and they usually are free. Maybe sometimes with snacks. Who doesn't love that?
They almost always have snacks.
They almost always have snacks. We can agree to that.
They got bagels.
They got bagels.
I've gotten fed bagels a lot.
That's awesome.
Because food is a great way to to do something while you're talking with someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
In case it gets awkward, you take a bite of your bagel and you do bond over something.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
Exactly.
Let me think about that.
Let me ponder on that over my everything bagel.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see some of these. So we talked about, let's see, we had some podcast ideas, some different meetup groups, some other ways. What are some other ways you in the chat, get into the world of design, get thinking about stuff, start energizing yourself around it and get fresh ideas. Behance has been great. It's a fantastic resource for more of the visual work. Where do you go for your discussions? I'd love to hear of any. I'm trying to think of where I go. I basically do the same things.
Sometimes I just go on Slack. There are a lot of online communities that are catered towards specific needs that you might have.
Right.
Like if it's women in design.
Yeah.
I know Hexagon UX is a really great Slack channel where women are all invited to go in there, and there's a generals tab where you can post in any questions that you have, maybe while you're working and you have a certain thought that you want to bring to the community, and
yeah, just getting into one of these Slack channels. Yeah, that's a great one. I'm part of Latinx Who Design by Pablo Stanley started it, and it's fantastic.
That's really
just
awesome.
the chat, just the Slack
Yeah.
itself as utility.
Yeah.
Following, obviously, designers on Twitter is great. Resources like Adobe Live are amazing. Conferences. Marcella says conferences. Absolutely. Duh. I completely forgot about conferences.
Conferences. You know what I used to do when I was a student?
What did you used to do?
And I couldn't afford conferences?
What did you used to
I
do?
would email the coordinator, any one of them, because they always have their email up, and I'd be like, hi, I'm a student. Always gotta mention you're a student.
Always mention you're a student.
Going to California Cultural Arts, and I am want to really volunteer for any type of opportunity that you guys might have. And from there, they would always respond, even if they didn't have possible opportunities open. They'd be like, totally, we want to bring you on. You're totally free to attend the event while you have breaks in between your volunteering sessions. And I got to be involved in workshops, in going down to helping the speakers get up on stage.
Yeah, and actually interacting with these.
You get the
these people
behind
in
the
the field.
scenes perspective of the conference, which was really fun.
There's the pro tip. If anyone's a student in the chat and you want to go to a conference, find an email somewhere on that page.
Find that email.
And just message them. Say you're a student. And you're willing to do whatever.
Exactly. So you're a student.
I'll carry water to the event.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't want to carry water? Everyone's going to love you. They're like, oh, you brought water. We were waiting. We were parched.
Amazing. I love this illustration you're using.
Look at her.
She's
like, you ready?
She's doing her best. She is
really
living her best life.
She really is.
She's there to support you, that illustration.
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring these dots up here so that it's just easy, and it's right in the middle of your screen, so whenever you want to navigate, you can navigate, and the information following that is the illustration. And I'm going to change these purples to something that's more cohesive with the application here.
Look at that. That's just with an undraw illustration.
It's just a double click, and highlights whatever I need, and it gets all that done. Who wants to make her pants lighter? I do. I'm going to make it into a lighter color. Look at that.
Oh, way better.
This is
Love
so
that.
in. I feel like I've seen a lot of people wearing these pastel muted colors.
Right.
I love it.
We're not only are we designers, we're also fashion trendsetters, style gurus.
Exactly.
One illustration at a time.
You know, another tip is boredom. Sometimes when I'm bored, I have this moment to reflect what I've been like doing design-wise, and I think like, well, what if I can just like pick up a new, new skill along the way? Like, I've been using XD for a while. What if I combine that with After Effects? And so sometimes what I do is I just create these screens and I want to create them into like a GIF. I can just export all these screens, put them into After Effects. Whenever I need to change the screens, I can live manipulate the screens and it live updates within After Effects.
Yeah.
And so that's a great way to just expand your horizons.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Voodoo Val just asked, how do you combat art block? That's one way. She allows herself to get bored and play around with different skills. But great question, Voodoo Val.
Yeah. How
do you?
Yeah.
What else do you do?
Well,
You run the gamut, man, on all of the different ways you can get yourself out of art block. But I'd love to hear more.
I know I mentioned the grocery store and like as a joke, but I really do go to the grocery store and I pick out all the different produce items I can think of and I just chop them all off and I throw it into the pan and I saute them and I just look at how they fry and I think about what I'm doing.
Okay. That's one way.
And I thought, like, why is that so helpful for me to get out of art block? It's because as a creative, I love process. And so I like the process of, like, this mechanical process of going to a store, picking up all of these different items, and, like, chopping them, like, getting to that precise notion and getting all detailed, which is everything that I enjoy doing. And just...
like picking your, like it's almost like picking your font, picking your colors. You can have all of these nitty gritties picked. What's gonna happen when you throw them in a pan?
Right.
Really?
I actually was talking to another designer, and she's also an illustrator, and she's like, I really like going to conferences and talks to get inspired to meet people, but nothing recharges me more than being at home and baking. And I'm like, I totally feel you on that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Chat, do you have any similar things you do to recharge? It's a little different than relaxing. It's recharging. It's getting that creative juice flowing. Baking, cooking, that makes sense. Voodoo Val's right on the money. That's not what I expected. You really love food, Joanne. Yeah, Joanne loves food.
It happened from when I was born.
I think we all love food.
Yeah.
And I know some people don't love food.
Oh, right.
There are some people that don't love food.
Right. I actually used to be someone who didn't love food. I was like, I just need food to satisfy me and get me on my day. But then I was like, wait a minute. I can do so many things with food. And
now it's a form of recharging.
Now it is a form of lifestyle.
I mean, it's one of the most creative things you can do is cook.
Yeah. Sometimes I dream.
Shout out to Chef's Table, another one of those amazing shows that gets your creative juices flowing.
Pumping. What do you do, Alexis?
What do I do to recharge? I get a lot of my energy from people. So I really love going out.
I knew it.
Yeah.
You're totally a people person. Totally.
So I like going out. I like doing group events. I like sometimes, going to sporting events with a group of people, going to a show with a group of people. I think alone time is really important, obviously, but to recharge and reset and kind of gets me in that place that makes me happy and ready to create. Yeah, I need a group. Around me. All right, yeah. 15 minutes, still portfolio reviews. For anyone who is just joining the stream, if you just joined, awesome. You can welcome. Hello, tell us where you're coming from. I would love to know. We are in San Francisco. But if you're just joining, we're here with Joanne Lee, and she is taking us through an app that is, the intention is to help you take an at-home test. Not like a Scantron type of test, but more like something that's gonna check things like, are you pregnant? Do you have a certain illness maybe?
What's your DNA?
Or at home health tests. And so this app is supposed to pair with it, with those tests. And then one of the goals Joanne has is to make it very comforting and anxiety reducing. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. And all along the way, she's been using countless plugins. So many.
Using
great
one right
ones.
now.
She's using one right now. Undraw. She doesn't have to leave XD at all. She hasn't had. You really haven't had to leave XD this entire time.
Not once.
And not only do you have great colors that you've figured out from other websites
Through a plugin.
You also have these great illustrations, and you really haven't left. It's really great. And at some point, you're going to upload it on Behance using a plugin
Oh, yeah.
in XD. Why would you go anywhere else?
Exactly. And I am someone that gets really easily distracted, so it really helps me to just stay in one place. Also, if maybe you're at work and you want to be able to just get something done before your meeting or anything, it's helpful just to shut off your notifications if you so dare, and just be like, okay, I'm going to set myself a timer of 30 minutes. I have all my plugins, have all my tools, and just get that all done. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate this into your lifestyle.
Yeah, that's one way. One way to fight procrastination. Do you have any other ways that you fight the fighting distraction? I don't want to say procrastinate. It's like too edgy of a word because we all do it. But if anyone has any tips onto streamlining a workflow, obviously using plugins is one. But also, do you guys set timers? I have yet to set a good timer and giving myself that when I design. I like to get fully immersed and then come out of it and be like, oh my gosh, it's nighttime. I started in the morning. Well, how is it nighttime? I feel like I do my best work when I do that, but that's not healthy at all. Setting a timer is probably what you should do.
Yeah, and I also just set a timer at certain times during my process. So like when I was doing the sketching and wireframing, I didn't want to spend too much time there because I can easily just get into the nitty-gritty details of like visual aspects, and that was not the focus of a wireframe. The focus of a wireframe is to make that user flow, understanding at a large scale how is this going to fit together and why. And that's instances where I would use a timer, but in places where maybe I had to do user testing and I was sitting with someone who is maybe a frequent user of in-home testing, I don't want to pressure them with being like, you only have 20 minutes to give me all the information. No, I want to open up the conversation, and so there are nuances and moments when you use that timer aspect.
Definitely. Those are so great. And those are just learned over time, those tricks.
Yeah.
On how to streamline your workflow.
They pertain to the kind of person you are. Some people are really fast at creating, prototypes and high fidelity prototypes. Which is definitely a strength and awesome to do. And so it also depends on what your team is made up of. If your team is made up of those strengths and you bring to the table different things, then that maybe is something that you should spend more time bringing to the table. And so
we're just becoming better designers.
Yeah.
Just
it's never a downhill
one wireframe at a time.
Experience. Never a downhill experience.
This is looking really good, Joanne.
Thanks. I'm really feeling these girls. They're
really great.
They're like encouraging you to continue on to this process.
Oh man.
Which is all that I wanted these illustrations to do. So that is awesome. I'm just getting rid of the noise that might be overwhelming with the illustrations. So someone just
maybe not even that box at all.
You don't need
that. Oh, I love. Oh my gosh, her power stance. Oh, she's crushing it.
That's also a thing that I do before talks and things. I do mountain pose, where I just make sure that my feet are standing shoulder width apart, and I just take deep breaths, stand really tall, and that really helps me to go into this motivating aspect of okay, I have something valuable to offer, and I'm going to give that people. I have a gift. Always. I have a gift. What is yours? I have a gift. What is yours?
I love it.
Yep.
There's so much to public speaking And there's some surefire ways to make sure that you feel confident doing it.
Yeah.
Power posing is one of them.
And yeah, Alexis, is it your cousin? I went to Alexis's wedding recently, and I think it was your cousin who did a beautiful, or your aunt who did a beautiful, beautiful dance. And it was just a really great way to see how body movement and posture really brings in a sense of mood and a sense of emotion.
Right, body storming.
Body storming.
Body storming. Has anybody in the chat heard of body storming? It's one of our favorite things to do. I don't even know who taught us that. Maybe Hawken?
Design research taught me that.
There are some UX designers who have passed on the knowledge of body storming, and that is when you embody what you're designing. So maybe it's a service like an Uber or something.
Yeah.
Or like a test kit, and you act out the process of what you're going to do right before you open this app or use the service. And sometimes just moving and getting your body flowing really helps you find the pain points that you missed. So if you have an app that's like waiting for an Uber, act it out. Go outside, stand on the curb.
Yeah, what is it like to stand there?
Yeah.
Is it cold? Is it windy? Is it barren?
Cody Brown says he's really digging this color palette.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
it is
you.
calm and earthy. I agree.
Calm and earthy. Yeah. And I also mentioned I was going to add arrows. I'm going to quickly do that. Go back up in here. Go over here. Look at that. Pop it. And lock it. Boom.
Boom. Did you make that arrow or did you find that arrow?
I think I found it. I found it in a plugin for sure.
Of course you did.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you found it on a plugin.
My little name is plugin.
This is the power of plugins.
Yeah. I found it in icons and symbols. It's a really great way to just type in what you need really quick, and you get all of these options. And to drop it in, you double click right over here, and it gives it to you right over here, and you can just manipulate the color, size, even just like double click it even more. And if you want it to be an even more narrow arrow, you can just go in here and click on it.
Change the line
Yeah,
itself.
there you go, and do all that. Which is great. Sometimes I like to look at icons as inspiration for like if I want to create logos for some things and I want to start with certain imageries. I just go, okay, what are the like simple icons out there, and starting there and getting inspired.
Poppin' and lockin'.
Pop in and lock it. I'm just gonna center that.
Speaking of logos, a name.
No.
We need a name for this thing still.
Have people been?
Right now, I have a list going. It's let's see. We have Helping Hand, Haven, Fitayu, Liberate, Health Vitality, Calm Fluent, Haven again, and Blue.
I like them.
Blue spelled B-L-E-U.
Ooh.
We'll sit with those.
Yeah. What does
Think about
everyone
it.
think with those options there?
Think of like a shorter.
Yeah, one-worded names are always
I like Confluent.
confluent. Yeah.
Or maybe Liberate. I do like Liberate.
Liberate just sounds so close to home. Yeah. I think
Empower and something with empowering yourself.
Empowerment. Yeah, that's definitely the tagline under here. Knowing your health
already used
status
that.
is your empowerment. Confluent sounds really awesome because it sounds like fluent, which is related to language and skill. And I think that being calm and being in charge of your health and taking those steps is a skill. And so those
Moving
are
fast.
my thoughts.
She is really flying through
Go
these designs.
into this here. What other things? What other things can we talk about? We also have been exploring a lot of like different books yesterday, right? A lot of
Yeah.
like printed books and resources that can just be helpful.
That
you
have
know.
inspired you, maybe.
Yeah.
Designing Your Life was one of them, I
Designing
believe.
your life, yeah. That was really cool to learn from.
What was your biggest takeaway from that book?
My biggest takeaway from that one was there was a section as a chapter where we were trying to figure out what parts and what moments in your life makes you the most happiest. And that can get really confusing to navigate through when you've been doing the same thing for a long time.
Right.
And so the author narrated that it's helpful to come up with a list while you're going through your day and rate whether if it made you super productive or happy or not. And then list whether if that was necessary for you to do in your day or not. And then from there, no matter what it was, to figure out why those happy moments made you feel that way, and that can bring you to your next steps of figuring out what job or what industry is related to where you can get in, get into.
I love that.
So that's a good way of starting to figure out how to restructure your life if you're feeling like you're in a rut.
It's a good way to also think about your designs.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Like those some screens don't need to exist. Some parts of your design do not need to exist. Just because you can doesn't mean you have to make it.
Yes.
So it's about working smarter, right?
Yes.
Flying along, Joe.
Yeah. What about you, Alexis? What books have inspired you?
What books have inspired?
They don't have to be design related.
Let's see. I read recently. I read through Brotopia. I didn't read the whole thing. I read through it.
Did you like it?
I think I don't know if like is the word I want to use. I felt very informed in a way. I felt justified.
Yeah.
But just reading up in general on kind of the space that you're occupying is important.
Yeah.
Hello, someone just joined us.
Hello.
I love that you're joining us right now. Join whenever. We're here with Joanne Lee, and she is designing a healthcare-inspired app that will then help patients and everyday people get through at-home testing procedures, which is a very stressful thing. So that's currently what she's doing right now. We have about 2 minutes until the submission deadline of portfolio reviews, and then me and Joanne are going to go to space. And we're gonna
bring you guys all with us.
You're all gonna come with us. We're gonna go to space. We're gonna explore our space. It's gonna get we're gonna go to the moon. Maybe hang around Jupiter.
Maybe never come back.
Maybe never come back.
Yep.
Yeah, so that'd be great. Wow. So what are you thinking for these?
Right now, I was thinking like, what is a way to break up the different sections of the application? And so within here, where the helpful tips to know is happening, I didn't incorporate the wave elements because the text here should really be the focus. I really want users to read because it is something that is helpful information. It's catered and it's parsed through so that they can feel reassured that what their health results are, no matter what it is, they will be taken care of. So right here, I kept it very straight to the action and had done that. And now going back to the timer, figuring out that consistency is what I'm doing currently.
That timer is very calming. Just a small countdown in the corner.
I didn't want it to be large. Kind of like if you guys are iPhone users and you have the timer on your, if you set the timer, it's like the only thing on your screen at the way top. It takes like half of your screen, and so it's a different feeling and mood than that.
Wow, Buggy is joining us from Nigeria. Hello and welcome.
Hi.
We are getting very close to reviewing a couple portfolios. I'm very excited about that. And when we come back, we'll be in space. We're gonna leave and go to space.
Yeah, you came right on time.
Yeah, you got here just in time.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. Joanne is just finishing up making her app beautiful. And right after portfolio reviews, we'll just kind of do like a little debrief about it. Joanne is a UX designer, all-around designer. Just a designer. I think she's been an art director. What else have you done?
Art directing, I've done like a lot of like video animations work. Worked with branding because I really like branding.
Alrighty.
All sorts.
I think it's time. I think it's time we go to space. So we'll see you all
Let's do it.
in space.
Let's do it.
We are totally in space. Unbelievable.
It is the most unexpected feeling.
Welcome
did
to
not
portfolio
expect this.
review, you guys. I think I have to take this off because I can't hear myself.
It's very echoey.
It's very echoey. But welcome to space. Actually, the air is good in here. So we good. We good.
Yeah.
Take this off, thanks. So we have a portfolio in front of us. Very exciting stuff. Let's check it out. Yogesh. I hope I'm pronouncing that wrong. Correctly. I hope I'm not pronouncing it wrong. Let's take a look. From India. Great, like a little about me over here.
Great banner
Wow,
image.
great banner image. UX UI, letting us know what you do. What are some vibes right off the bat, Joanne?
Yeah, if you're in the chat, if you want us to look at specific projects, feel free to
think
go
we
that
should.
route. But let's click on the first
Let's
one.
go on the first one. Hiking exploration. I love hiking.
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
Whoa. Okay.
Nice. So we have some animation showcasing. We have some great, visual design here.
Yeah. Is this supposed to live? What device is this supposed to live on? I'm curious.
That would be helpful for this project specifically. Yeah, showing your device. I think maybe as a case study, it could give us a little bit more information, but beautiful work overall.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I like the quotes that are integrated within the beginning screens, just to show like what kind of people and what were their experiences using it. Is that a quote from Bears?
It's a quote from a bear.
Oh, okay.
From bears.
From
Just bears generally.
That was very
great.
very
I like
clean.
that. Very silly. And I like that was very clean. Let's just take a look at kind of like what you have over here, just making sure you get your social links up. Great. Just any way people can contact you is always important for a portfolio.
Yeah.
When you're like, you can have the best stuff up there, but if no one can find you
Right.
and contact you and
If
offer
you're
you that
busy in
job,
space, yeah.
how are they going to find you?
Yeah.
So always remembering that, giving a grade about me. A passion with an extreme hunger and passion for design, or a person with extreme hunger and a passion for design. That's great.
Yeah.
Great first line. All right, let's take a look at a couple more. Let's
Okay,
see.
let's see.
I like music.
Filters. Oh, music too.
Let's check it out.
Great.
Okay, cool. Oh wow,
Whoa.
amazing.
It's always helpful to open up with like how your prototype and how your device works, just to reel in the attention. So great thinking there.
That was great. Very clean.
Yeah. It would
Someone
also
who's very
be-
experienced with
yeah.
animation.
Yeah. I also want to see maybe there's a title of the app just there, just really big in there, and give a little bit of a blurb of what you were aiming to accomplish. If that is what your portfolio is hoping to do. If it's more of like a visual thing, it'd be helpful to show like time frame, what software you used.
Time frame.
It's good to share that nitty-gritty information.
Yeah. So let us know like how long this took you. Does this take you a couple days? Did this
Yeah.
take you a month?
Right.
All is fine. All is fair.
Right.
Just let us know so we can kind of see like what your skill level obviously is at a certain point, and it's wonderful. But we want to know what your process is like and what the
Yeah.
name of this project is.
Yeah, and what happened to it after? Did
And what
the
happened
client
after?
take it?
Yeah.
Are
Is
you
it a student
iterating?
project? Is it just for
Definitely.
fun?
Yeah,
Which is also totally fair.
So this is a great foundation, and just those.
Oh, it's a beautiful foundation.
Those minor details and information will just make it right there seamless.
Yeah. Those are great. What a great experimentation around kind of like an e-commerce app around beats, and the actual like design of it I think is spot on.
Yeah.
With that brand.
Yeah, those poppy colors. We were definitely looking at those color schemes earlier today.
Yeah. So taking in a lot of different like card elements that are very in style right now. So awesome. I feel we should do one more. These were really great.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have a smart home power usage or spam filters.
Spam filters.
Spam filters. Got it. She said it. Oh.
Oh, so is this like an informational?
It's like a
poster, kind of like an infographic.
yeah, it's an
type
infographic.
thing?
Cool. Classic.
Whoa.
A good infographic's hard to find.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Avoiding spam filters. Keeping consistent with this iconography, with these little pops of color.
Yeah. This.
I love it.
Yeah. I really do like the integration of illustration.
Yeah.
It makes it feel a lot approachable. It kind of reminds me of Christmas right now.
It is Christmassy, yes.
Which would be really useful.
It's Christmassy in this culture.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
This designer is actually out of India.
Right.
So maybe these colors don't evoke the same Christmas feeling. And that's fine. Yeah. It's an infographic, so we know what it is. So that's easy. And the fact that I understand like what you're trying to tell me right off the bat means it's a good infographic. So all is fair. I think we all have these like graphic design type projects in our portfolio, even with UX and UI portfolios. I think it's great. Being able to give information clearly is a great skill to have, and I think you did a great job. I think this one is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
This AR-based smart home power usage app.
Also, Eduardo's asking, how do we have works shown here?
Yeah, Eduardo, there's a little tab right above the chat, and you just submit to our team, and our team picks a couple and lets us know. We had a little countdown. The time is over for this one, but we have a little countdown usually in the corner to let you know how long you have until to submit. And I think some of the moderators could probably help you out with that one.
Yeah.
But let's look at this. Let's look at this
full
project
screen
really
mode.
quick. Wow.
That churn of the phone
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of like watching a show, and you know how like some people like start from their like showing their back and then like turn around as like an intro sequence.
It's a little cheeky.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, hello there.
It's like, hey, didn't catch you there.
My name is AR Phone App. Ooh.
Explore real time.
Explore. I think. Okay. So when you're showing animations, I've just kind of realized I have been looking through a lot of different portfolios, and what I notice is these animations happen very fast. And I think the main point of having animations in portfolio is not only to show you that you can do it, that's great, but also to kind of tell the story and to show a flow.
Yeah.
And the best way that you can show a flow is like letting us have a moment with it. So even when you think it's probably the same amount of time a user will use it is probably very fast, but if I'm reviewing it or if someone you're trying to get employed at trying to review it, you want to take your time with it.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
And really tell the story, using that animation to kind of tell that exact story of when somebody would use this awesome app. It's so cool.
Right,
So,
yeah.
let's see.
Is.
Here we go. Explore real time. That's great. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Again, I'm like really thirsting for the title. I feel like there's a really big opportunity there to just like so that someone can remember it, and when they like meet you, they'd be like, "Oh, I really like that app, the Home Power Usage app." Seeing that appear and like iterating in the portfolio can be really helpful for that. Also, the use of color, the yellow reminds me a lot of like what home improvement stores do for like highlighting the call to action, and so that is very useful. One moment there where it scans and around the microwave. One thing that can be helpful, you have these really awesome earlier screens where it grays out the background. If that grayed out background can happen around the the microwave. It can even more call out what you're trying to highlight there.
But overall, great. And we are, it's just one thing. This designer, Yogesh, is very talented, I think, visually. But what we're really thirsting for in your portfolio, if we could, if we could pick anything, is
Yeah.
a little bit more about story around these amazing designs. They're great, but I want to know where they're being used, if they're being used.
Yeah.
Or if they're not being used, where you could see them being used,
Yeah.
how long it took for you to make them, kind of more of an overview, maybe the tools you use to make them. It would be very helpful for your community and for yourself.
Right.
But overall, beautiful stuff.
Yeah, it also shows you
did
a
some
lot
creative
of
challenges. Awesome.
Ooh.
And that's always something you can put in your portfolio is the daily creative challenge. There's so many, and they're great exercises you can do.
Yeah, and like riffing off of that story aspect, it's a great way to show your personality through the way that you talk. And so it'll only help your portfolios feel even more like you.
Yeah, but great mock-ups, great like kind of like title images. It's okay. So here you go. There's a little bit more of a story.
Oh, nice.
A little user flow down to a prototype. It's great. Yeah.
Great.
Nice. Awesome.
Very
So we're gonna
impressed.
move. Very impressed. Tor said, Tor Kamorlinga, I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know. I'm thirsty for more gray boxes. Yeah. Yeah, more gray boxes. We want to see process too.
Gray
That's
boxes
important. But
will always be just a helpful way to be like, there is more that could be created. Always.
I'm open to ideas. It's your way of
Open
saying
to
I'm open to ideas. All right, let's go to the next portfolio. This is Ash J, another designer from India. Awesome. Graphics and UI and UX designer. A little bit about me is a little, pretty short and to the point. Creativity and simplistic design for everyone. Currently in the last year of the university. Okay, to the point.
Great. Okay, let's get started.
Yeah. Is there anything right off the bat in terms of portfolio about information to find and anything that you would add?
So if we go in there, well, I would also add in maybe like what type of projects or like topics that you like to design with. It looks like I see a lot of like selected projects that you've uploaded, and so I think there's a lot to unpack there, like, oh, I like working with music, or I like working with creating logos, and just saying those things can go a long way.
Yeah.
Also your logo itself, your user image.
Yes.
That's also really interesting. So
very
there's- yeah.
interesting. Yeah, it's not just a photo.
Exactly. So there's a lot in there where
You have your own brand.
unpack.
So you use for your copy that you include in
Definitely.
your About Me anywhere on your own personal
Definitely.
or on a Behance or anywhere
Yeah.
else. It's just another layer of saying, hey, I'm a little bit different. This is who I am.
Yeah.
I think in this other
Yeah.
creative way, and you should see my projects. So we are. Let's go. Ice. Ooh. Wow.
Cold. Ice cold. Is it cold or is it
Cool.
cool? I can't tell anymore. I love this
I like the
language.
coffee. Yeah.
The coffee, it just brings me in. It doesn't matter anyways. Wow. This is really awesome. It's very interdimensional. You're using the background image
yes.
as also your product image. So it really brings into the space, the environment of where your devices and your product lives in.
Definitely, there is a built environment here
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I have a vibe. I have a mood.
Yeah.
I have an idea over what you're making. You're making a landing
right,
page.
right.
Great.
Yeah.
With this kind of like cold vibe of ice. Oh, I didn't even have to. Oh, it says ice. You know, it's how much can you build up in this initial image is super important. I think you did a
Yeah.
great job.
Yeah. I almost feel like the juxtaposition of like ice and coldness, using these blues, what it might look like if you had buttons or text that were more warmer colors.
Interesting.
Like what if there were pops and moments?
Freezing cold, freaking cold.
Yeah.
You're not afraid to play with typography, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
There is a lot here. You're afraid to kind of bring up using these words. Maybe this is the logo. Or maybe that's the logo. Ice, ice. Ice, ice, baby. Great. Oh, and also one thing to be said around images you use. These are gorgeous. These are beautiful. They're like eye candy.
Yeah.
That's always going to boost up your designs if you find really great images online. So I always say, you got to have a photographer friend. You got to have one really good photographer friend, because a lot of images you can't use for certain projects, but yeah, so this one's beautiful.
That coat is $3,000.
Yeah, I'm getting high end from these designs.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I would believe that. So that's a believable luxury. It's a believable set of copy, I think, because you've invested this time and energy in making it look a little more high end.
Definitely.
And then there's this guy over here. Okay.
So we're just taking it in here.
We're just taking it in, yeah. And then we have a mobile.
Yeah. Okay. Mobile device.
I like how you've kind of resized and.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And then maybe there's even like an animation. No. Okay. There's a couple more screens.
Okay.
So it's almost like high fashion for cold weather.
Yeah.
A little added to cart, great. I would say these are great. These are beautifully styled. I think I want to see a flow. I want to see it moving now. Now I want to see what would happen if I were to use this.
Yeah. I also think that there are moments where it flips from desktop to mobile, which is really awesome to always think of like multi-device, multi-platform designs for the
Ash
same
left
thing.
a photo of himself in his designs.
Yeah, because he is cool.
That's great.
And it'd be helpful if there was like a transition moment or just a label at the top in some ways to say this is going back into the web experience, going back into the mobile, just so we can get a contrast of like the different design decisions you're making.
Yeah, and that was beautiful. It was beautifully handled.
Yeah.
Again, a little more. Look, there's multiple owners, so we know that you've worked with the team.
Got it.
We know what tools you're using. That's
great.
Good to know. You've obviously got a lot of likes and eyes on this work, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Is it an actual company? I'm not sure. I want to believe maybe it is because it's so well done. But again, we don't really have the story around it to kind of know.
Yeah, definitely.
So these are the kind of the questions I have right off the bat. I think it's beautiful. So great work. And just framing a little bit more this story, I think is only going to help you build that skill more.
Yeah, and maybe just mentioning like what happened to the project after is also really nice.
Maybe a link to if it's an actual project, is there a link to the website, like in real life?
Is there? I think that would be really awesome to just continue following it on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's do a couple more here on his site. Oh, look at that. Newest works.
Okay, this is
so it's a little bit about internship.
I love that little blurb. That's awesome.
Cool.
Navigation bars, colors, different things and functions in the application, card sizes.
Okay. I think for this one, the opposite. I would love to see it like on a screen, a little more of a mock-up. But otherwise, it's great to also see someone's personal process through how they become a designer. So thanks for sharing that about your internship.
Yeah, definitely.
But overall, SJ, I think you've got some really strong work here. Really strong work. I think one more really quick. Pick one. Snowflake.
Yeah, what's that one?
Okay.
Project
from
info.
Winter itself. Elements used.
Great. I love the call-outs of what software you used.
Simple. I love that. That was great.
Yeah.
Wow, you're really giving us everything to talk about, Ash.
Yeah.
This was great. This is a great little case study around maybe a smaller design project you did, and it's clear. We have a little bit about the project. We have your colors. We have your elements used, and maybe a little final.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much for giving us so much to look at in your portfolios. I really appreciate it.
Definitely.
I want to give Joanne a chance to wrap up her stream.
Yeah.
And kind of like take us through kind of our end bits, maybe walk through the app in our last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Would love to. And so
thanks for coming to space with us, y'all.
Space was really fun. I would not have wanted to have go to space without anyone else.
Oh,
so
thank you.
So just to reiterate what you have done, I'm going to actually use Confluent.
Which one?
What was the name?
Confluent?
Confluent, yeah.
Confluent.
I really like that name.
Okay.
So we're going to go forth with that since we have a couple minutes here. But it always is a work in progress. And so this is what the final application looks like.
Woo!
If I just click play here and we look at it, this is really the beginning screen, landing page, going into what it looks like next. Actually, I think I can just press the next arrow here. Learning about what you need, going into the options of where you live, who your healthcare provider is, checking for the items, what do you have, what do you need, checking for your body, what mental state are you in, going into the first unpacking, secondly going to the next, and we have our placeholder images and going through there, having a delightful event.
Yeah.
And
oh,
there
these
we go.
UI
We've got
faces.
the UI faces. And so we did a lot today, and could not have done it without you guys.
Absolutely
Used different
not. Will this
plugins.
project be up on Behance? So
Yeah,
our viewers can maybe check it
definitely.
out and see maybe
Yeah.
more of it and its final case study?
Yeah, so these are the plugins I used in case you guys wanted just a recap of what we had done. And so Rename It is a really good plugin of just renaming your artboards. Change Case is a good way to change your typeface from capital to not, and Behance is what I went through yesterday. UI Faces for personas, Stark for testing for usability, Mimic to pull out different fonts and colors that were present in all the different competitive research we had done.
Yeah.
So those were all the plugins, and this is just a snippet of so
and
many.
everyone
out
keeps sharing your
there.
plugins in the chat throughout.
Yeah.
You know, it's still so new.
Yeah.
And it's still so in the exciting phases of itself. And we're all just trying to learn what we each can do and to streamline our workflows.
Yeah. So
Thank you so much, Joanne, for bringing us through that, I think.
thank you for hosting me.
Do you want to pull up your Instagram or your website itself? So that we
Yeah,
can...
I mean, I can just quickly dive into just my contact right here.
Check
so
her
this
out.
is my work. A lot of the things that I do just ranges from like working on account management, working on blockchain technology, and this is actually a project that I had done beforehand, and so I just changed.
Oh, so you can check
thing
it out,
there,
maybe
check
in a
it
different
out.
form and iteration.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Created a voice skill, and so that is my website here. You guys can always feel free to come by and check out, and always just connect. I'm always looking
Wave
for
at,
more
give her a
designers.
wave. This girl loves a good wave.
Yeah, definitely.
But Joanne Lee, this has been a pleasure, and I'm really excited about your future as a designer, and thank you so much for coming through.
Definitely. Thank you for hosting me. Alexis is also a wonderful designer herself.
Should we do a wave?
We're gonna
wave us out? Let's wave us out.
Wave.
All right. See you guys later. We'll see you at the next Adobe Live.
See ya.